Welcome YouTubers and 00 model railway enthusiasts. Welcome to my latest project, and this is the Britannia, which I got from eBay. It's spares or repair, it said, and when I opened it up, just opened it up to make sure I can give lots of feedback. At first glance it doesn't look too bad. It seems to be reasonably complete. And the pickups seem to be in order there, and the cylinder head looks a bit weird. There does seem to be a split down there, so I'll have to investigate that. The tender, I'm afraid, is in a bit of a poor condition. I got it like this, although these wheels are in there. But as you can see, the wheels have separated, and that seems to be the case for all three axles. I'm not sure what this grey wheel thing is compared to the black, whether someone tried to paint them. Also, the coupling hook between the tender and the locomotive is broken, and in fact it comes in this little packet, although the seller did mention it, so fair's fair. The buffers are missing from the tender, and there is no rear coupling, so you can't attach it to anything. So either I'm going to have to get a new tender or try and get all the bits. I'll probably end up just trying to buy a new tender. Anyway, that I can wait till later on. At the moment I want to get into this one and see where I can go with this. Okay, I'll just come in a wee bit. That's it. There we go. You can see what we're doing here. Let's remove the front bogie. Single screw at the front here. With the collar goes in there. Single screw at the rear. That's a deeper collar. Longer screw, I'll have to remember that. And that goes in there. And then there should be another screw. I think it must be this one. That is not an original Triang screw, that's for sure. So this immediately leads me to think that something has been done to this machine at some point. I don't think that's an original Triang screw. Let's see if I can now remove this. Nope, that doesn't want to come up. Is there something I've missed? Sometimes you get little screws at the back. I don't see anything there. Maybe it's just been a bit stiff. You're watching this live, folks, as I'm doing it. Nope. And I can see now why there's a crack in the cylinder head, because that is broken there. Trying to keep it in camera for you folks. Alright, that's there, that's there, that's there. I wonder what's happening here. Okay, there's nothing in there. I'll just take this off, and I'll take this one off as well. I have to be careful with the couplings now. Unless there's a chimney screw, of course. I nearly forgot about the chimney screw. Nope, there's nothing in there. Ah, I can see there's one at the front buffer. Yes. Right, so let's just remove that there. Lovely. And down the chassis drops. Take the screw out. Quite a small one. Leave it in there. The body doesn't look to be in bad condition. I feel something slack. The smoke deflectors are a bit slack. It's even fitted in there. A touch of glue will help. But other than that, the buffers are intact at the front. No cracks in there at the back. Decal clearly show the running number. Very famous running number, 70,000. Okay, let's leave that aside. And perhaps too far in, guys, so let's bring it out a wee bit. Now, what have we got? I'm going to remove, I should probably need one of my fine screwdrivers. Finer than that. Finer than that one. I'm going to re-edit this. Excuse me, I have a cold present. There's a coupling screw. There should be a spacer in there, and a spacer in there. And the coupling comes off along with the right hand side. And let's move the other one as well, keep it out of the way. That one in there, and the spacer and the cotton rod. Good. It's a synchro smoke unit, folks. I wonder if that works. I will get it to work. Okay, it's an XO4 motor. Some guns in there I need to get rid of. I think I shall apply power at this point. Positive rail is here, negative rail is there. So, put one of my rollers in there and one of my rollers in here. H&M rolling rod. Apply power, let's see what happens. Right, and what? Okay. Bad connection, but look at that. Something, guys, I think I might just have gotten away with this. I think service and motor, we might be in business here. Okay, thank you very much. Short and hard. That there. Let's take one of these out of here. There's that one. Right, let's remove the single smoke unit if I can. There. Let's remove that from there. I'll put that to one side. The rocker seems to be okay. Now, the XO4 motor, of course, John at Chams did an excellent servicing video for this. Take that out. Disconnect. Connect. What did I do with my tweezer? There we go. There we go. And that releases the chassis. Now, I've got two brushes which can be removed. There. And there. Let's have a look at these heads. Well, just as you'd expect them to be, they're fairly worn. Yep, and one would probably just replace those as a matter of course. So that's what I'm going to do. There's a lot of soot in here which I need to remove, clean up the armature, check the connections, but other than that it doesn't look to be a bad motor. Okay guys, I'm going to give this a good clean up. I'm sure you don't want to sit and watch me do that for half an hour, so I'll come back as soon as I'm ready to test it again. Take care, bye. I took the motor out, I stripped it down, I took out the brushes badly needed replaced, put the new ones in, I cleaned the armature, I re-lubricated the fibre washers at both ends, checked the coil resistances and they're all 7.2 ohms, reassembled it, put it all back together, and I've tried it my rolling road and she runs really nice without all that heavy sparking we had earlier on. So now it's time for reassembly, so I'm going to start with the conrods. You'll remember at the top of the video I noticed that the cylinder block has cracked and looks as if it's been very badly glued, so I just decided to get a new one, and now I have to fit the new cylinder block and reassemble the drag gear. I have to confess I have experimented with this and I think I've now got it sussed. The important thing to remember is that there are three pieces of drive gear. One of them sits between the motion block and the cylinder head on each side. They're going to be fixed, so I'm going to put them in first. First thing I'm going to do, slide the cylinder box underneath the chassis. It clips into a groove. I'm not going to fit it fully in because I need a bit of leeway for the drive gear. This is for the right hand side as we look towards the front, and it's a fixed piece here with a flexible bar. Fit the back into the motion block, and the front will sit into the cylinder block. Two little grooves in there, and they should just fit in nicely. Once you get one in, the other goes in as well. In like so, and then make sure that comes out the way, and that will slide into the motion bracket. Like so. A similar process on the left side. Two lugs at the front fit into the cylinder block, this little pip here into the motion bracket. And these don't slide in and out as it moves. And carefully try and bend that in there. That's fitted in. Now I can fix the cylinder block in place. I also questioned the originality of this screw, but looking at the service sheet, I don't think there's anything to worry about. In there, little self-tapper screw with the washer that holds the cylinder block. So now I've got the drive mechanism here, and it's fairly fixed and settles in nice. The next part to assemble is the con rod. The con rods are not interchangeable. The thing about the con rod is that it's designed so that these two oil well parts go, this one here goes towards the back. So if I bring the wheel round, bring that wheel round, and then the third wheel round, and they should all line up. You might also notice that I've removed the motor that allows the gear wheel to spin freely. Apply the spacer, and now I have to put in this sliding bar. Sliding bar fits into the front here. And into the cylinder block. Like so. Upside down, that won't help. Into the cylinder block. Over the top of the drive bar. A little bit of hooks in there, and then that should sit on top of the spacer. And it should sit down on the spindle, fine. And then the last bit is this little connecting bar that will sit onto the wheel. Maybe something like that. Come round like that, there we go. And finally, the little screw that holds it all together. Fine screwdriver tip. Put it in there, and that should allow the con rods to move. It does. Now to do the same on the other side. The con rod, this should fit quite nicely on the wheels because the other side's keeping it together. In there, lovely. Spacer onto the spindle. And now for the other drive rod. Into the cylinder block, sits over the top, and there's a little flange sits behind the drive bar, and that will sit onto the spindle. And now I can place the connecting rod and it just sits there somehow. And then finally the little screw into the screw hole and wind it in gently, make sure it works, and everything moves lovely, nicely and freely. Put it on my road, it's running there. So a little tightening of the screws, make sure they're okay. That one in there, that one in there, and hopefully you can see how freely they are running. Forward and reverse, and reverse on the other side, and now going forward. And I don't see anything catching or likely to catch, so I'll be giving that a wee bit of lubrication in the next camera break. Okay, excellent. Now I'm going to fit the motor. The motor, which has already been cleaned, lubricated, the coils been tested. I've had new brush heads fitted, checked all the insulation, and it's ready to run. I've also checked that it works by applying power gently, so I'll just slide that in, make sure the wheel engages with the worm screw. That's okay. Retaining screw for the back of the motor goes in here. Fine. And the last thing to do is put the connector clip onto the positive side of the motor. That's done by pushing gently on the insulating sleeve, lift the other brush up a wee bit, slide the connector in, and both grooves should then coincide, and there you have the motor assembled. Okay, let's bring in my rolling rod. It's an H&M rolling rod. I don't think it's as good as a Hornby, but I got it quite cheap, so I'll use it as long as I can. There's power there. Make sure that's out the way. Power on, and we should see some movement. It sometimes needs a little bit of a nudge to make better contact, but you can see that definitely the motor was trying to turn. It's not a problem with the locomotive, it's to do with my rolling rod. It's nearly there. Nearly there. Come on, baby. Okay, what I'll do is I'll take the power directly onto the locomotive. And if I hold it up, we should see it's now starting to work. There we go. So the locomotive itself is fine, and in reverse direction, there it goes. and I haven't got a lot of power attached there at all. Let's sit it on the road and see what happens. Yeah, definitely rolling road is needing a bit of attention. Get up and hopefully you can see the mechanism working very well, very smoothly. I'm only on about half power at the moment, so let's take it back. I'm going to stop there. I'll be back in a few minutes. You'll remember when I opened it up that I was quite surprised to see a smoke unit, but in fact when I looked underneath again, printed here, you should see the letters SU, which apparently is a designation that although it's an R259, it has a smoke unit fitted sometime after 1964. The Triang smoke unit, built in Britain, it says here. So I had a look at it, and the cap comes off very easily. And according to a diagram I looked at in here, should be an element which is obviously missing. So I'm going to have to try and source a new element. I know the part number, so if anyone out there is aware of where to get a Triang X549 element, I'd greatly appreciate it. Obviously I'm going to put it into a favourite search on eBay to see if any turn up. I would just love to see this smoking. So anyway, let's put that aside for the time being. There's some wiring there. That goes in here. I would assume there's a little hole for oil maybe in there. I don't know. I'll try and work all that out later on. Anyway, that's my smoke unit, which I'm now going to put aside with its retaining screw. Well, I got to the stage where I've now got my locomotive working, mechanism's running okay, and so I'm going to take it and put it on my track and see if it runs. Well, here I am beside my little test track. It's not much at the moment. Put it on there. Let's wind up the power and see what happens. Maybe the wheels need a bit of clean. Let's see if even nudge will help. Oh, there we go. There we go. I can see it come round. Let me try and give you a better shot. Dutch to southern waiting patiently. Here she comes. Yeah, that seems to be alright. And behind the rubbish box, coming in there. Okay. At the beginning of the video, you heard me talk about the fact I needed a smoke unit for my Britannia. Well, I got this from eBay. As you can see, it's pretty poor state. Wheels are rusted, screws missing, no motor, no drive gear, but look at this bit here. It's a smoke unit. So I'm going to take this out and fit it into my working Britannia chassis. And hopefully I'll get a smoking Britannia unit. So let's see what happens. Just leave this one aside. Soldering iron nice and warm. Disconnect the lead to the unit, and I think this is called a Seuthe. Oh, it's going, there we go, that comes off. It's held in with a little spring clip. It just unplugs, but it's held in there. So carefully prise out the spring clip, being aware that these things can jump. The wire is fed underneath. And carefully take that through. There we go. Put that one aside, and I'm going to fit it into here. I noticed that in fact the cylinder block is going to make it slightly awkward for me, so I'm going to have to remove the cylinder block. Okay, let's bring in the rolling rod. Sit it on. And just make sure that it's working okay. Yep, good. Because I don't know how long this has been lying here. My guess is it's pretty dry. So on my eBay searches I came across someone who was selling this smoke oil, and I've got something else in here. Again, smoke oil, little vial of oil. This looks totally unused. It is totally unused, and I have to say at this point that I have never used this before, but there is an instruction sheet. So I'm going to actually stop at this point and take a good long look at this, and I will rejoin you as soon as I can. Well, having read the instructions, it seems I've fitted this correctly. I've now got my little tube of oil. I've removed the top very carefully, and apparently I don't have a filling funnel, didn't come with the set I have, but I have to drop 5 or 6 drops into this bit here. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, one more, 6. Now, let's see what happens when we apply power. Apparently it takes a little while to warm up, makes sense. Something is happening. Oh yes. Oh yes. Just bring the zoom in a wee bit. It's definitely smoking. Let's try to get something behind that. Can you see that? Yes, there we go. Britannia will smoke again. springs. Okay, just stop there. Let it cool down a little bit. So I've now got a smoking Britannia, and what I'm going to do is build it up. The other thing which I mentioned at the beginning was that I didn't have a tender. Well, again, carefully scanning eBay, I have here a Britannia tender. It's in very good condition. It's got the hook at the front, it's got the coupler at the back, nice looking wheels, not too bad decals. Maybe I could do with replacing this one a little bit. And I've now got a Britannia. Metal ladders there. Try and get those repainted. So, let's put it all together again. Okay, that's the conrods all back on. The drive mechanism, the 3-part conrod drive shaft and reversing linkage on both sides. Got the smoke unit in place, and all we need to do now is put it on the rolling road and see what happens next. My rolling road's a bit dodgy, so maybe you touch here now. There we go. There she goes. Give it a few seconds and hopefully we'll see some smoke. Yep, there we go. Warming up nicely. There we are. Britannia is smoking. Just add a couple of drops before I put it all together again. Great. I'm now going to reassemble and put on the test track, and at that point we'll come back. Britannia is sitting in the track. Let's apply power and see where she goes. It's off nicely. Let's see how long it takes before she starts smoking, and can we see the smoke? Yep, there we go. There's a smoking Britannia. Yeah, lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Well, that's it. That's her complete. I could just watch it forever.